Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Unfolding Crypto. Continuing with our discussion on the evolution of Bitcoin, today we will discuss and compare conventional currency with Bitcoin. We will also touch upon the negative side of the banking system which helped cryptocurrency to grow. In the last episode, you said something about Hal Finney suffering from some disease which I heard for the first time. What happened after
Yeah,
that? Hal Finney. Yes, yes. But I hope that you know the basics of Bitcoin. If not, I would suggest that you click the link above my head and revise our discussion.
sure.
In the absence of Hal Finney, Satoshi was searching for someone equally committed and focused on Bitcoin technology. Marty stepped up as a person to take up the responsibility. Satoshi was technical, focusing on security so people could make payments more confidently and efficiently. Because only with faith can he achieve his purpose of convincing people that Bitcoin can be a legitimate currency. But what use will it be if no one can buy or sell products using Bitcoin, as we do with our current currency? So, wasn't it enough to be secure? I mean, I have faith in this, so I do use it. Yes, but other people should have similar faith. I mean, what is the use of Bitcoin if other people don't consider it as a legitimate currency? I understand the gravity of the situation. Uh, the most challenging part was to convince the initial set of people to start using Bitcoin. And you can only persuade them when you create demand for the currency and they see value in it. Hmm. True. True. Satoshi and other crypto enthusiasts knew that the government printing currency was working on the people's faith. It is not backed by anything, which means that government does not have anything to compensate for the dollar if everyone asks for the same. Let us first understand different currency structures adopted by countries before the current currency system, which is known as fiat. Gold standard monetary system. Gold has been used for thousands of years as a global currency. It is a precious metal and has a limited supply. So earlier, the country's currency was linked with how much gold they had in their country. For example, a country has 100 kgs of gold and price is around $200 per kg. So total currency supply in the economy will be 100 kgs multiplied by 200, that would be $20,000. The central government can only print more money if it can source more gold. This prevented any misuse of the power to print money without any accountability. So this system was removed in 1971 by Richard Nixon. So eventually central banks were allowed to print money as per the dynamics of the economy. So what you are saying is that now central bank can print and infuse money which in actual terms they don't even have it in the first place. Yes, from thin air. But looking at the positive side, central banks were given more control and freedom to manage the economy. I mean, you can increase the supply of money when there is more demand, more consumption, and you can reduce the supply of money when there is a recession. But it's pure power, it can be misused. Yeah, true. As Gotham said, this can be misused. But first, let's discuss what a fractional banking system and bailout are to understand the core problem. The fractional banking system is the core of the banking business. We all know that when we deposit our money in banks, we get interest. and the money deposited in the bank is loaned out to people to earn interest. So let's do some maths and understand in simple language. Mr. X and Mr. Y deposited 100 and $200 each in a bank. That bank now has $300 over which the bank has to pay 5% interest payment yearly. So at the end of 1 year, bank has to pay 5 and $10 to Mr. X and Mr. Y respectively. But banks have to earn it. Otherwise, how will they give the money to their customers? So they loan out part of it. Also, they cannot provide all the money as a loan. What if Mr. X and Mr. Y withdraws some money in an emergency? Since smart people run banks, they concluded that only $50 are the maximum amount which Mr. X and Mr. Y would withdraw from their bank. So $300 minus $50 comes out to be $250. This amount they loan out to the business family at a 10% return. It comes out to be $25. So at the end of the year, banks earn 25 minus 15, which is $10 as profit. Seems like a straightforward business transaction. But here's the problem. Banks have eventually created artificial money. Mr. X and Mr. Y will see $300 being kept in their account, which they have full authority to withdraw at any time. Then where did $250 come from, which they gave to the business houses? Think about it. So there can be two problems where banks will face issues. First one, what if Mr. X and Mr. Y want all their money back? Banks will be able to pay only $50 in this scenario. They will declare bankruptcy and will shut down. What if the businessman goes bankrupt? Banks will again be in big problem as they won't be able to pay back the money. So if you observe it, the actual money is $300, but the total supply of money generated by the bank is $550. This is called a fractional banking system. I don't see any problems with this. It seems like a straightforward transaction to me. All banks have enough data on how much money people will withdraw to avoid such situations. But still, few banks fail, and that's when central banks come to the picture. Still, I don't understand why this is a problem. Trust. Banks have trust on people that they won't withdraw all of their money at once from the banks. I mean, it's highly unlikely they will withdraw all of their money. That is why you have higher interest rates on fixed deposits so that they can loan out that money and have no issues. Nowadays, you don't need gold or precious metals. You can create money out of trust. I mean, almost all the countries. I think no one uses gold standard system. Everything runs on trust. Wow. But did central banks breach trust? Let's go over our earlier example. We know that banks will be in trouble when either happens. Over here, banks are given extra cushion by central banks, which means that if the business house doesn't return money, the central bank will provide loans to these banks so that Mr. X and Mr. Y don't panic. This is called a bailout. Central banks can provide money in the form of loans or equity. Since banks know the central bank has their back, they invest in riskier assets to increase their profits. This practice was prevalent before the 2008 market crash. But at that time, there was no other option. I mean, you cannot do business without banks. You can say that the banking industry was in monopoly. I remember that time. Lost a lot of money in that crash. A lot of people did at that time, buddy. But anyway, so coincidentally, when people were getting scared of banks, Satoshi Nakamoto came up with an alternative, Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin software limits the supply to only 21 million coins, and you cannot add more than that. So instead of banks, computers will act as an intermediary between people who want to deposit money and people who want to take loan. Okay. So let's come back to Satoshi and Marty. They realized they had made a secure place for the transactions. Now they needed more people so that there was even distribution of coins. So eventually, they had to create demand for the same. The first challenge was what could be the actual value of Bitcoin. So, firstly, they needed a place where Bitcoins could be bought and sold for real money. The first transaction with Bitcoin was with New Liberty Standard, where Marty sent 5,050 Bitcoins for $5.02. But what is the actual value of Bitcoin? You have to start somewhere. We know that computers solve problems in a race, and whoever wins will get Bitcoin as a reward. Processing those maths problems require electricity, which costs something. So New Liberty Standard devised a solution by linking Bitcoin with electricity value backed by their electricity bill. So in October and November 2009, $1 was worth around 1000 Bitcoins. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's what, like $31,000? And it was nothing last 15 years. This is crazy. Okay, in 2008, what if someone told you that there would be a coin which is run by computers, okay, has no authority, is virtual, and doesn't have any support from the government or the banks? Will you be willing to pay $5 for it? To be honest, I would rather eat a pizza. Exactly. It was a start, but currency should be used for something, not just trading. So Liberty Central created an exchange where money could be used to buy and sell products. Items that were listed on the website were paper bowls, plastic cups, and paper towels. You could buy this stuff with Bitcoin on their website. Apart from this, many other things were listed, but it was not a hit, and eventually it was a failed project. Satoshi and Marty started focusing on other part of their life. Luckily, the software was running, but they observed that no new user came. Tough situation. They tried their best. Yeah, they did. However, interesting. There was some small, elite, powerful group of people who got interested in the product and eventually gave a new shape to the evolution of Bitcoin currency. Nice.